congratulations
Yeah.
and thank you for representing us on the big screen. So much
Oh
love
man,
for you.
thank you so much.
First of all, let's talk about of all the Hindu gods, why Hanuman?
Oh man, to me he's the coolest. Like my dad has a little chain with a little Hanuman emblem on it, and I've always been fascinated with that. When my grandfather, who, was living in Kenya, would come down to London and spend time with us, for a short time, I would drag him into my box room and make him tell me these stories of Hanuman. And I was just fascinated with the layers of the mythology. Some of the stories, like the story of the young Hanuman in the forest, reminded me of Icarus in Greek mythology. And I just, I love the idea of Hanuman and his band of Vana, his band of monkeys, like these outsiders kind of coming together to challenge the status quo. Um, I love that. Yeah, I think he's awesome.
I think it's fascinating you were able to introduce him to this entire world. Of course, writer, producer, director on this film. It's been so exciting, but your action sequences were kind of very intense.
Mm.
Definitely had an SRK vibe, I will say, Shah Rukh Khan
Woo.
vibe too in the
I love
film. I
him.
loved it. How did you manage to balance the actor and director part of you? Because I can only imagine that that might be tough since you're directing those action sequences as well.
Yeah, I mean, Shah Rukh was a big inspiration. It was a lot of Korean cinema. And then I remember as a kid, I didn't quite understand the film, but I remember the imagery of Shah Rukh in a film called Koila. And he was like red eyed and sweaty, and he had this bloody sword. And I just remember he couldn't talk. And I was, full of rage and revenge and romance. And so that's part of it. But yeah, it was a big undertaking. I wanted to create a plausible hero. I wanted to create someone that had real trauma, PTSD. I really wanted to not just do a movie that just is punches and kicks all the way through without any real substance. So that was a challenge in making it.
And the other thing too, I'm curious to know what inspired you. You made some bold moves in bringing in some of India's pressurizing issues right now. There's some huge topics, but somehow you were able to multi-layer those through the film. What inspired you to do that?
I just think, I want to make films that push the needle. I want to make films that say something. I'm a sort of performer that throws all of myself into a role. So if you're going to take up, for me, this was over a decade's worth of my life. I broke my bones for this. I turned down some of the best projects I'd been waiting a career for to do. I was going to make sure I was going to say something with it. And in a way, this is a love letter to India and my culture, from Zakir, Hussain, Indian classical music, to the mythology of Hanuman, and the vibrancy of the cultures and the dresses and the fireworks of Diwali, and you could go on and on. But at the same time, I wanted to touch on these issues that you see filling the columns in the newspapers there, violence against women, the caste system, the tensions of politics and religion, and how religion can be weaponized and politicized, and also how it is a beautiful thing, and show both sides of this coin. And I think it's really a vibrant, actually very hopeful movie about a son's admiration and love of his mother at its core. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Dave. Congratulations
Thank you.
on your directorial debut.